And one last thing I'll leave you with is find people who are minded the same way you are. I never got into business because I was around people who were not business oriented people. Me and DJ, when we talk, it's always like, how can we improve each other? Hey, whatever. There's like our conversations are about improving, not about, yo, you trying to grab a drink? Yo, like you trying to go to the club? You trying to do this? We're also at different stages in our life, so I get it. But
still, we're at a similar business mindset ish. Like, we're not about to jump off and go to the bar to have a merry time. We're looking to improve each other
and in our businesses and our brand, because we see the long-term vision of this. And what I'm saying is that if you feel like you're not successful, check the people around you, because it's funny that Ben, but
shout out to Ben
Murray, Scott, one of my youth pastors, growing up. I also owe a lot of my success to the Harbor.
Harbor Church, Santa Mauritius, New York.
I owe them a lot of my a lot of credit goes to them, because they kind of taught me how to just be a man, right? And Scott Jankowski, shout out to Pastor Scott. One of his best messages that I remember to this day, this is over 7, 8, 9, this is 10 years ago. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. And I'll never forget that he said that.
Boom. And that's hard.
10 years later, it is like the craziest thing, because it's so true. And the people I've surrounded myself with, who I talk to on a regular basis, are all in the entrepreneurial field. Like, this is what I want to do the rest of my life. And it's so crazy that the people around you, your environment, is just so influential. So what I'm saying is another thing, right? If you're right, let's say you researched, you found out what you wanted to do, and you put the work in. Why is this not successful? Well, are you partying on the weekends? Are you hanging around the wrong crowd? Like, there's so many other factors. So if you are doing this and you're not successful, check your environment. And that's the last thing I'll say, because I'm sorry, I can talk all day.
That was a mic drop. Like, you should just dropped. Ow! Oh, that hurt my soul. But it was good. It was a good hurting. Like, you need that professional building right there, because I think somebody out there needed to hear that today, to make that change, to make that leap.
But I think it's true, because people think it's real easy, right? Like, and I'm a big fan of podcasts. So I was listening to Podcast P. It's a podcast with Paul George. He's a player on the Clippers, and they were interviewing. This is months ago. They were interviewing Steve Ballmer, but I watched it recently, and it's what they were talking about the same thing. It's like, the biggest thing he said on that podcast was, you need to know the long-term investment, but also the micro, the day-to-day. So I feel like there are some people, and what I took from that is, I believe there are some people who understand that this thing can be successful, right? But they're looking at it long term, or they're looking at it flipwise. They're looking only day to day. They're not looking at the long term. Some people get so stuck in this, I have a quota, I have to make my rent this month, I have to do this. And that, obviously, you have to do all those things. But
yes, we can't say you can't make a living. Like, there's obviously keep yourself maintained.
Exactly. But at the same time, you should also look to build to a point where you can't handle it and you have to go get employees. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that shout out Podcast P. I love Paul George. He's a phenomenal athlete. And, maybe you're listening to this, maybe you want to come on the podcast anyway. But, so like I said, 3 things: figure out what you want to do, research it, make sure it's what you want to do. And then last but not least, put the work in and do the hard work,
I think that's awesome. Good talk, Lenny. I appreciate you being transparent there. And this is a process. You're going to hear more things than not about both of us throughout this entire journey, about what we're doing and what we're currently doing, what we've done, and what we're planning to do. And that's, it's just creating that framework for you to understand what's going on and how we can inspire you and help you make that leap.
And I think that's an important thing too, man. Is just like you got to make the leap. Like, don't put it off because it only gets harder. Like,
oh my gosh, yes,
it's hard, man. It's it's hard, and we're gonna be transparent. We're gonna be as open and honest with you guys as possible, and I mean, to be quite frank, we're both not there yet, so we're both learning and growing and every day, so I don't want y'all to think that we're sitting here talking to y'all like experts, because we're not experts in any stretch of the imagination. But we've been doing this. DJ's in this almost 10 years, and we'll hear more about his story on the next episode. Me, I'm only in 6 months. Sorry, I'm playing with this thing, but we're not experts, but one day we'll both have multi-million-dollar companies, and that's just a fact. So, again, man, it goes back to environment. Figure out who the heck you want around you, because at some point, no matter what you do, you're going to have to build a team. And I'm starting to become more and more comfortable and happy with the team I'm building. And it's a great experience. It's a great, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So I'm happy where I'm at, and Lifting Love Reacts and Lifting Love and, Lifting Love Podcast Network, where everything's going to go crazy. The foundation, all that stuff. So I'm excited for the future, and I look forward to what this podcast is going to become, leaving the 9 to 5. Last thing I want to leave you guys with is do it, but don't do it because you have to, right? Do it because you want to, and I think that's a big thing in entrepreneurship that people struggle with. Do it because you want to. Find something you love. Do it because you love it, not because you have to do it, right? Like a 9 to 5, you have to do it, right? We all have to make money, right? But that'll all come in due time. So I wish you guys the best of luck in your entrepreneurship journey. Stay tuned for this podcast and what it becomes, because it's going to be great. We want to hear from you guys, so make sure you drop some things in the comments. But that was my story. If y'all have any more questions, please DM. We'll answer all questions, anything and everything y'all want to hear. We'll make it happen.
DM, comments, email, social.
We're gonna get the leaving the 9 to 5. It'll probably be leaving the 9 to 5 95 at gmail.com or something.
We'll posted it in the description and everything below here, so you're good.